Welcome to English Hidden Podcast. Today's conversation is about self-confidence. Have you ever wanted to say something, but stayed silent because you were afraid? Have you ever prepared for an important moment, only to lose your confidence at the last second? If your answer is yes, then today's conversation is for you. Let's begin. Good morning, Sarah. It's great to see you again. How's everything going?
Good morning, James. I'm doing okay. But to be honest, yesterday wasn't one of my best days.
Really? What happened? You don't usually sound like this.
Well, we had a team meeting yesterday. My manager asked everyone to share a new idea for our next project. I had prepared everything before the meeting. I even practiced my presentation several times at home. But when it was finally my turn, I suddenly became nervous. For a few seconds, I couldn't remember what I wanted to say.
That must have felt terrible. Did anyone say something that made you uncomfortable?
Not at all. Everyone was very kind. My manager smiled and told me to take my time. One of my coworkers even said my idea sounded interesting. The strange thing is, nobody made me feel bad. I did that to myself.
That's interesting. Why do you think that happened?
I don't know. Maybe I expected too much from myself. I wanted everything to be perfect. When I made one small mistake, I completely forgot about all the things I had done well.
Haha. I think we've all done that before. Sometimes, we're much harder on ourselves than anyone else is. Can I ask you something?
Of course. Go ahead.
If I had made the same mistake yesterday, what would you have said to me? Would you have called me a failure? Or would you have told me to try again?
Haha. I'd definitely tell you to try again. Everyone gets nervous sometimes. One bad meeting doesn't mean you're not good enough.
Exactly. So why don't you give yourself the same advice?
I've never really thought about that. Maybe I'm kinder to everyone else than I am to myself.
That's a question worth thinking about. Sometimes, the biggest challenge isn't other people's opinion. It's the way we speak to ourselves. And changing that voice can be the first step toward real confidence. Many people lose their confidence, not because they aren't good enough, but because they keep comparing themselves to other people. Let's continue James and Sarah's conversation. Sarah, can I ask you another question?
Sure. Go ahead.
Do you ever compare yourself to other people? Maybe your coworkers, or people you see online?
Actually, yes. More often than I'd like to admit. Sometimes I open social media for just a few minutes. Then I see someone getting promoted. Someone traveling the world. Someone speaking perfect English. And before I know it, I start comparing my life to theirs.
I think a lot of people do that. But let me ask you something. When you look at those pictures, do you really know what's happening in their lives?
Not really. I only see their happy moments. I don't see the stress behind their success. I don't see the problems they're dealing with, or the mistakes they made before reaching that point.
Exactly. People usually share their best moments. They don't often share the days when they feel lost, or the times they fail. That's why social media can sometimes create the wrong picture.
Haha. You're right. Last week, one of my friends posted photos from a beautiful holiday. For a moment, I thought she had the perfect life. Later she told me she had been feeling stressed for months and really needed a break. I realized I'd judged her whole life from just a few photos.
That's a great example. We often compare our everyday life to someone else's highlight reel. And that's never a fair comparison.
So, what should I do instead? It's not easy to stop comparing myself.
You don't have to stop completely. Just change the question. Instead of asking, "Why am I not like them?" ask, "What can I learn from them?" That simple change can make a huge difference.
I like that. It feels much healthier. Instead of feeling jealous, I can feel inspired.
Exactly. Confidence grows when you focus on your own progress, not when you measure your life against everyone else's.
You know, when I first started learning English, I compared myself to fluent speakers all the time. Every mistake made me feel embarrassed. But now, when I look back, I realize I've improved a lot. Maybe I should spend more time noticing my progress, instead of worrying about how far I still have to go.
That's the spirit. Every confident person was once a beginner. The only difference is, they didn't stop learning. Comparing yourself to others steals your confidence. Comparing yourself to the person you were yesterday builds your confidence. Keep learning. Keep improving. And remember, every small step matters. Everyone has moments when they doubt themselves. But confidence doesn't appear overnight. It grows a little every time we face our fears instead of running away from them. Let's continue James and Sarah's conversation. Sarah, can I ask you something? Has anyone ever said something that completely changed the way you saw yourself?
Actually, yes. A few years ago, my manager said something I'll never forget. After I finished a presentation, he smiled and said, "Sarah, you explain things very clearly. People enjoy listening to you." I was surprised because I had been worrying about every little mistake.
Really? So instead of remembering his compliment, you kept thinking about your mistakes?
Exactly. I went home and replayed the whole presentation in my mind. I remembered one sentence that didn't sound perfect, but I completely forgot the positive feedback everyone had given me. Looking back now, I realize I was focusing on the wrong things.
Haha. I think we've all done that at some point. Sometimes we spend 10 minutes receiving compliments. Then one small mistake happens, and suddenly that's the only thing we remember.
That's so true. It's almost like our minds are trained to notice problems first. We ignore our progress and only pay attention to what still needs to improve.
So let me ask you another question. If your best friend made the same presentation, would you only talk about their mistakes? Or would you also remind them of everything they did well?
I'd definitely remind them of the good things first. I'd tell them they did a great job. And I'd encourage them to keep improving instead of giving up.
Exactly. So why don't you treat yourself the same way? Being confident doesn't mean believing you're perfect. It means accepting that you're still learning and giving yourself permission to improve.
I never looked at confidence that way. Maybe I've been waiting to become perfect, when I should have been focusing on becoming better.
I think that's a much healthier way to think. Progress is something we can achieve every day. Perfection is something nobody ever reaches. The way you speak to yourself matters. If you only notice your mistakes, your confidence will slowly disappear. But if you recognize your progress, even the smallest step can give you the courage to keep moving forward. Many people think confidence comes first. But in reality, confidence usually comes after taking action. Let's see what James and Sarah think about that. Sarah, can you remember the last time you did something that scared you?
Actually, yes. About 2 months ago, I joined an English speaking club for the first time. I didn't know anyone there, and I almost turned around before walking into the room.
Really? What made you stay?
I told myself, if I leave now, nothing will ever change. So I walked in, found an empty chair, and introduced myself to everyone. I was nervous, but everyone welcomed me with a smile.
That's a big step. How did you feel after the meeting?
Honestly, I felt proud of myself. Not because I spoke perfect English, but because I didn't let my fear control me. That was the first time I realized confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to try.
I couldn't agree more. People often think confident people never feel nervous. The truth is, they feel nervous too. They simply decide not to stop because of it.
Do you still get nervous before speaking in public?
Haha. Absolutely. Every single time. Before I stand up to speak, my heart beats faster. And I always wonder if everything will go well. But I've learned something over the years. That nervous feeling disappears once I start talking.
That's interesting. So the hardest part isn't speaking. The hardest part is taking the first step.
Exactly. Whether it's learning English, starting a new job, or meeting new people, the first step is always the hardest. After that, everything becomes a little easier.
You know, I think I've been waiting for confidence to appear before taking action. Maybe I should do the opposite. Maybe I should take action first. And let confidence grow naturally.
I think that's a great idea. Every small action gives you a little more experience. And every new experience makes you a little more confident. That's how real growth happens. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build. Every time you choose courage instead of fear, you become a stronger version of yourself. Sarah, before we finish, there's one last question I'd like to ask you. After everything we've talked about today, how do you feel now?
Honestly, I feel much better. I used to believe confident people were simply born different. But now I understand that's not true. They just kept moving forward. Even when they felt nervous. I think I've been waiting for confidence to appear. From today, I'll stop waiting. I'll start taking action instead.
Haha, I love hearing that. Remember, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to believe that every small step you take today will make you stronger tomorrow.
You're right. And I think that's what real confidence is. It's not about never feeling afraid. It's about refusing to let fear make your decisions. I'm sure I'll still make mistakes. But from now on, I'll learn from them instead of running away from them.
Exactly. Every successful person has made mistakes. The difference is, they never allowed those mistakes to become the end of their story. They kept learning. They kept improving. And one day, they realized they had become the person they once admired.
Haha. I hope one day I'll be able to say the same thing. But you know what? For the first time in a long time, I actually believe I can.
And that's the perfect place to start. One small step. One brave decision. One confident version of yourself. Growing every single day. Thank you for listening to today's conversation. We hope James and Sarah's story reminded you that confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build. One choice at a time. If you enjoyed this episode, please like this video. Share it with someone who needs a little encouragement. And subscribe to English Hidden Podcasts for more natural daily life English conversations. Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself.